What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend, or at least what's left of it. As I film this, it is a Sunday, and we are getting caught up on the fragrance rotations, another fragrance rotation video here. As always, I'm going to leave the name of the fragrances, the day that I wore them, and the week that I wore them in the description, so all that will be accurate, but we're almost caught up here, so let's go ahead and get started. And if you guys want to know what I'm sipping on, we got Uniqu'e'e, part of the regular lineup, but this is actually a special edition because it is a cask strength version of Uniqu'e'e. So very robust, very full-bodied. Not for everyone. Not everyone likes the deep, salty, smoky, peaty scotches from Islay. This is a farm distillery, so it kind of ties in with niche perfumery to where it is a smaller output, overall a little bit more exclusive and a little bit more difficult to find, but really good stuff if you enjoy this. So cheers, guys. All right, so Monday started off strong. Dubai Amber, strong fragrance, guys. Very Middle Eastern, civet musk, oud, incense, saffron, rose. Very heavy on the raspberry and vanilla, but all the other notes are so loud, it doesn't come across as fruity or too sweet. It just really balances out the fragrance very nicely with all the other heavy notes in there. Man, Dubai Amber, anyone who smelled it or experienced it, absolutely nuclear projection, nuclear longevity. Some might think it's too strong, and it's definitely not one of those fragrances that's for everybody. So if you enjoy those, even if you enjoy those types of fragrances, I would give Amber a sample. Very good in my opinion, but again, not gonna be for everyone. So Tuesday, Charon's Vail from Argos, newer release. It is a rose and oud fragrance, but it's a lot more than that. It's got saffron, agar wood, cistus labdanum, so it's got a really nice, warm, resiny, slightly spicy, floral, woody thing going on. Extremely wearable. You know, if you're afraid to wear oud because it might be a little bit earthy, barnyard animalic, this is not that. This is a very wearable, friendly version, and you still get the oud in there. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. I'm actually probably going to be wearing this fragrance tomorrow. So we have Almas from Boadicea the Victorious on Wednesday. You guys are noticing I'm getting more into the rose oud fragrances because it is a very broad category. They can be used different ways. Another one of my favorite rose oud fragrances from Boadicea is Alsif and Dasman. What's really interesting about Almas is even though it has that DNA, it is a much more wearable version. You know, I can see why people might be killing bottles of this really quick because with the blueberry cassis in there, blackberry, whatever it is, and the pineapple and the saffron, I mean, this stuff is just absolutely gorgeous, unique, Middle Eastern, but very wearable. It's not so heavy on the oud and the rose, even though it's prevalent in there. Not nearly as much of that animalic, earthy type of oud as Dasman. So I wouldn't say it's similar to Dasman, even though it is a rude, rose oud fragrance and it's in the same category. This is just very wearable, very friendly, very versatile fragrance. So on Thursday, another new release from Argos, an extremely strong, spicy, resinous fragrance. This is Sacred Flame. Creamy, slightly sweet. It's got tonka, vanilla, a bunch of resins in the base notes as well. Saffron, clove, pepper tree. You just look in the ingredients in here. This is a really serious fragrance. Tons of longevity and projection, at least for me on my skin. Definitely a fall-time fragrance. So really good job by Argos, and that is Sacred Flame. That was on Thursday. So Uniqu'e'e, Kutay I wore on Friday. Had a buddy coming over doing cigars. You guys watched my top 10 video on the House of Uniqu'e'e. One of my favorite fragrances for this category, but it is very situational. I'm pretty much only wearing it, for dressing up or doing like bourbon, scotch, and cigars, that sort of thing. So unbelievably good fragrance from Kutay. Smells extremely realistic, almost smells like the inside of a wet bourbon barrel. Got cigar, that tobacco note in there, agar wood, just gorgeous stuff there. So not gonna be for everyone. Again, very strong fragrance. But for me, if people enjoy those types of fragrances, I absolutely love it. So Saturday, we have Amouage Interlude 53. Not a lot to say about this one, guys. Leather, a Pomponax, pimento berry, oregano, just very strong, very Amouage. It's exactly what you would expect from a house like Amouage, just very bold, Middle Eastern, and just a daring fragrance, man. It's once you put 53 on, you are committed at that point. So be very careful how you spray that. And then Sunday, Roja Parfums, Sweetie Oud. Very unique. I always say this about it, it's got a very nice like baked note in there, like a very fresh baked croissant, baguette, a little sweet, a little resiny with the frankincense and the oud in there. It's one of the most unique fragrances that I've tried, not just from the house of Roja Parfums, but just in general. Something I'm always going to have in my collection. One of my good friends bought it too. Went through almost every single fragrance in my lineup, and this, along with Wall Street from Bond Number 9, are the two that he chose to buy first. And I think that speaks volumes to somebody with an unbiased perspective onto like niche houses and niche perfumery. Just went with what he liked. He wanted two different types of fragrances. Of course, if you guys know those two fragrances, you can't really get a lot different than Sweetie Oud from Roja Parfums and Wall Street from Bond Number 9. Two completely different categories, so I would say he chose very well. So now we're on to the next week. Again, check the description, all the dates, the days I wore the fragrances and the weeks will be in there. So Monday, starting over, Bond Number 9 Dubai Gold. I was dressing up, and I was the next day as well, which is why I wore Overture. Brandy cognac vibe in both of them, but completely different fragrances. This has a lot more musk and wood heavy, while this is more resiny and spice heavy. Overture is another good one. I wore that on Tuesday. A lot of people's favorite from the house of Amouage. Really good oil concentration on here. Very proper fragrance. Some people may not like it because it does have a slightly animalic leather and like musk note, but it really, I think it comes more from the leather. Slightly pronounced, slightly animalic, but with the grapefruit, the nutmeg, the other spices, the booziness, the resins, all that, stuff that you would expect from the house of Amouage. To me, just make this fragrance incredible and perfect for, dressing up or even a night out. A lot of compliments from women, especially on Gold and Overture. So a little bit of a run of Unique Luxury for the last 3 days and this week, or the middle 3 days, mainly just because they were all new bottles that I just purchased from the house of Unique and Luxury. So on Wednesday, Hidden Accords, beautiful jasmine, pear, coffee fragrance with some patchouli, woods in there, very exotic, kind of like the name would suggest, Hidden Accords. It's very unique smelling. It's not overdone in the coffee area or the florals or any one area. Extremely well blended. Not a gourmand fragrance, not fruity, even though it has pear in there. Absolutely gorgeous the way they blended it. And then on Thursday, we have Wood and Mood Absolute, one of the newer fragrances just released from the house. Very, very loud and pronounced. Very wood, outdoor, and oud heavy, gaiac wood, leather, oud. Man, if you like those types of fragrances, you like those outdoor, something like a Xerjoff Ether, Silver Oud. There's a lot of them in that category, but this is definitely one of the best and one of my new favorites in that category. Extremely strong, definitely far, far down that road. So if you're new to that sort of stuff, even Neiman Line from Argos, similar type of category where it's very outdoor, woody, oud heavy, a little bit green, just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Very masculine fragrance. So if you like fragrances like that, definitely give Wood and Mood Absolute a chance. Probably worth a sample at least. Now on Friday, we went with Beril. A little bit warmer out. Beril is a very green fragrance. Very fresh, slightly sweet. Not really a whole lot to say about it. It doesn't go overly soapy. Lots of compliments on this one. Again, very fresh, like you just got out of the shower. But the vetiver and the other green notes in here don't make it overly clean, overly green, to where it starts getting to like a generic type of soapy vibe, which sometimes those fragrances can go down. So very good job on Unique and Luxury by making this fragrance kind of a very good balance between something that smells extremely good, but it's also very clean and approachable. So Beril and Hidden Accords especially. Of course, Wood and Mood is a little bit newer, the Absolute. But these two, I don't hear it spoken about a lot, and these are absolute gems from the house of Unique Luxury. Beril is incredible, at least to my nose. So Saturday, doing some cigars, a little bit of drinks, bourbon I think it was. So Tobacco Sapphire just fit that perfectly. If you like tobacco fragrances and you've not tried this, man, the blending, the way the incense, the mandarin, the florals, the tobacco, the woods all come together. Not just the quality of ingredients, which of course Boadicea is famous for, but just the blending, by Christian Provenzano. This stuff is just absolutely incredible. One of my favorite tobacco fragrances in my entire collection, and I have quite a few of them. So Sunday, Andy Warhol Silver Factory. Now you can still get the silver, and you still can get the Silver Factory. I think this is a little bit more expensive just because it has Andy Warhol's name and it's a little bit more collectible. But if you just like the fragrance, I'd try to go find silver. If you can find it below like $400 and it's worth it to you. Beautiful wood incense fragrance, very natural. I don't detect a lot of, fake sweeteners or anything like that. So very interesting how Andy Warhol Silver Factory, when Bond was working with that in the earlier days, again, something that has transitioned very well to their Dubai lineup. You see the use of incense very well in amber, Dubai amber, also in black sapphire. So it's interesting to see some of their earlier work with Andy Warhol Silver Factory at a perfume concentration kind of carry on over later to their Dubai collection. It just kind of fit right in, kind of gave Bond number 9 an introduction of working with some of those Middle Eastern ingredients. And this is just absolutely great stuff. I mean, anyone who's ever smelled this, I know a lot of people were upset it went out of stock, and it's definitely more for like mature noses, I would say. It's not something that maybe a younger crowd would find very appealing. Definitely not one of those fragrances that is into a category probably that young people would enjoy. But I certainly enjoy it. It's definitely grown on me as I've gotten older, and it's one of those fragrances that I've come to appreciate more and more. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Got a lot more coming. I got another one of these for a 2-week block for fragrance rotations until we're caught up to the actual current week. So awesome job, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Really helps me continue doing these fragrance rotation videos because you guys are really, watching them and commenting on them and seem to be interested in them. So that helps a lot. Appreciate you guys. Got a lot more coming for the channel, and I'll see y'all soon, all right? Bye.